Oh my
If you,
god.
yeah.
That's that's amazing. I love that. Holy shit.
You could just really like make your palette so much better without having to go through every single palette and
Yeah.
choosing it yourself.
So last week I decided to try out a new style of pixel art. For those of you that aren't aware, I am somewhat of a pixel artist, but I am not really that great. I found this guy on my Discord who posts some very interesting art on there and thought, I want to do something like that. I sent him a DM asking if he had any tips, and long story short, I bring to you how I became the ultimate pixel artist. Zane and I went over some really cool techniques, like how to create basic shapes for landscapes, how to create pixel clusters, defining your light source, and the Fibonacci sequence. If you don't know what that is, in very basic terms, it is a sequence of numbers that grabs the two previous numbers in the list and outputs the sum of both numbers. We start at 0 and 1 as our first numbers and add together to get our next number. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, and so on. It might sound more complicated than it is, but honestly, it's just adding previous numbers to extend the pattern. Moving on, he had shown me how to create a simple scene, which we can see here. We also discussed some cool mathematics to create perspectives and then put them into practice. That's too boring for you guys though, so let's move on to my first ever landscape attempt. I jumped on a stream and decided to create my first ever landscape piece live in front of everybody. Started with some clouds using some basic lighting and shading techniques based on the light source. Then I created a cliff edge to give some perspective. I needed to add some more texturing, which I did fix up later, but here is some grassy moss on the cliff. And then I added on some background layers and a silhouetted human sitting on the ledge for getting a sense of depth and proportions. After a few touch-ups and color adjusting, this is the end result of my first ever landscape piece. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and I have a long way to go, but I am pretty pleased to call this my first attempt. Honestly, I think the most important thing I learned from Zane was just watching him work and break down his techniques on what tools he uses, how he makes certain stroke patterns, and just taking the piece step by step. So I will link the full live stream that I did in the description if you guys want to see my exact process of how this piece was created. Last but not least, I decided to start drawing a little bit every single day going forward. So here is something I drew up yesterday. I understand it is way worse than the first attempt, but to be honest, I just wanted to create something in a small amount of time and try out a different style once again. I realized that after making this piece, maybe simple detailed pixel art isn't my thing, but I think the most important thing you can do as a starting artist is just try out as many different techniques and styles that you can think of, and then weed out what you aren't good at from there. I will continue to draw for at least 20 to 30 minutes every day, but this is where my journey to improvement really starts. The reason this whole idea started was because I wanted to be able to create some landscape pieces for my indie game Monster Tower. However, I want to get my skills up before attempting something for an actual in-game cutscene. I would really appreciate it if you guys subscribe to see where my journey takes me, and I hope that you enjoy the new devlog coming out on December 15th. I'll make sure to tag it if it's after this date. But as always, thank you guys for watching my content. Make sure to like the video to push the algorithm my way, and leave a comment on what you guys thought about this video. Thanks, guys.